good morning, and may all be blessed. Wasn't sure what I wanted to talk to you about today, but I decided to talk to you about where I am. Have you ever gotten into like a funky mood and you can't figure out what that funky mood is coming from? Well, I've been like that for, I would say probably 2, 3 weeks. And it's one of those things that you tend to want to examine only what you got and all of what you don't have, and it seems that there's no answer to that because you got everything, and you like very little. So I started thinking about this whole notion of in the Buddhist tradition that Buddha originally said, life is suffering, and then these are the ways to get out of it, and he gives you a formula to get out of it. Well, I don't want to talk about that today anyway. What I really want to talk about is, this whole notion of happiness. What makes you happy? What is happiness? And lots of times is we tend to in our minds look at, if this could change, if my partner could be different, if my partner was not as skinny as he or she is, or if they're not as fat as he or she is, if I had a better car, if I knew how to drive, if I had this, if I had that, all these changes that we do, if we and we create a lot of unhappiness on those things, and we end up getting all the things that we wanted to change, and we change them, and we're still unhappy. Sometimes unhappiness and happiness exist in the same plane. It's okay. Being satisfied and being not satisfied, what does that have to do with happiness? Is it all the same thing with different words? I'm not sure. But I do know that that living and looking at those things without judgment is a path to whatever this happiness thing is, and being with it and breathing into it, and of course doing your meditation with it, and meditating on the condition, because it's all about emotional, it's all about psychological feelings, it's all about how your body's reacting. So my body's been going through a major readjustment, because I went on a 90-day Terry Wall protocol, and in that space of 90 days, my body was good. My level of equanimity, of balance across the board was great. I was exercising, and then I dropped, and it's almost like dropping off a cliff, and I went back to my old habits of, eating sugar, not a lot, but eating sugar, having a glass of wine, having beer, eating lots of food that I shouldn't be eating. And so the system all of a sudden became shook. And that's what I've been going through in the last 3 weeks. My system is going like this. So what am I doing for myself? Well, I'm going back, or at least I've told myself that I got to go back to some level of the Terry Wall protocol, even in full force or in some modified form. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in the near future, about this whole thing of happiness, how we fall off of it, how we come back to it, what does it mean, and how do we become more, how do we develop equanimity, how do we develop this balance, both in thought and in action. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's good for today. Thank you. Be well.